The United States oncology market is currently valued at $80 to $85 billion. It is a massive, high-margin sector of healthcare, but for most international drug makers, it remains locked behind layers of regulatory and logistical barriers. Zydus Lifesciences is an Indian pharmaceutical power with the capital to target this market. In the third quarter of fiscal year 2026, their base generics business alone generated over 68 billion rupees in revenue. However, the generic sector is increasingly crowded. Intense competition and pricing pressure have turned these rows of identical bottles into a low-margin commodity business. To maintain growth, Zydus needs to shift its focus. The goal is to move from high-volume generics into specialized high-margin therapies, with cancer care as the primary target. This pivot requires more than just an approved drug. Success in the U.S. specialty market depends on having a localized distribution network and long-standing relationships with American oncologists and insurers. Establishing that infrastructure from zero can take half a decade and cost hundreds of millions of dollars in clinical and commercial development. For an overseas firm, these operational hurdles create a barrier to entry that often delays specialty expansion for years. In May 2026, Zydus moved to bypass that timeline. They secured a $166.4 million all-cash deal, outbidding their closest competitor, Garda Therapeutics. Their target was Assertio Holdings, a U.S.-based firm with an established foothold in specialty medicine and oncology supportive care. By utilizing their cash reserves for a direct acquisition, Zydus avoided the multi-year process of building a U.S. commercial team through organic growth. This $166 million transaction was a strategic maneuver designed to buy immediate access to the U.S. specialty market. The primary medical asset in the deal is Assertio's lead product, Rolvalden. Rolvalden is a long-acting biologic. It is administered to chemotherapy patients to boost white blood cell production and lower the risk of severe infections. Financially, the drug is a proven performer, generating over $68 million in net sales in 2025. It competes in a high-value niche against the dominant therapy, Neulasta, by offering clinicians better insurance coverage and fewer injection site complications. Acquiring Rolvalden provides Zydus with a biologic asset that is already approved and profitable in the U.S. market. The deal also secures Assertio's established commercial engine. This network includes over 170 community oncology accounts actively operating across the country. Zydus is essentially plugging into a pre-built logistical footprint, gaining immediate contact with the doctors who prescribe these high-value medicines. Long-term, Zydus can use this same commercial platform to launch the new biologic drugs they currently have in their internal R&D pipeline. They acquired the distribution channel required to commercialize specialized therapies across the United States. Following the acquisition, Zydus will delist Assertio from the NASDAQ and absorb its staff and assets into their global specialty division. While significant for Zydus, a $166 million deal is modest in scale compared to the massive mergers typically seen in the global pharmaceutical industry. Success depends on execution. Managing a foreign sales network is complex, and Assertio's future biologic pipeline must still survive clinical testing to deliver long-term value. If integrated successfully, this move marks the transition of Zydus from a traditional generics firm into a player in the complex biologic space. This acquisition reflects a shifting strategy for the industry. Indian pharmaceutical firms are now using their generic market earnings to buy the infrastructure needed for a permanent presence